Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Rush. I'm Andy Rafferty in Atlanta with a look at the headlines this hour. A day after facing senators on Capitol Hill, Trump national security officials will do the same in front of members of the House of Representatives later this morning. Lawmakers will once again be asking questions related to that text chat between Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other high-ranking members of the administration about those plans for an attack on Houthi rebels in Yemen. And that chat was just published in full by the magazine The Atlantic. Joining me now is Scripps News national security correspondent Liz Landers. She was watching the hearing yesterday, also watching what we can expect today. Of course, another major development, Liz, just in the last few moments here before this kicks off. How much of a factor do you expect that to be in this House hearing today?
Good morning, Andrew. The fallout from this texting thread continues today. And as you were mentioning, with The Atlantic revealing in detail what was in that texting thread, I do expect that this will be the biggest point of conversation during this hearing today. Yesterday on the Senate side, every single Democrat repeatedly asked the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and the CIA Director, John Ratcliffe, about their presence on that texting chain and what kind of information was shared on that texting chain. Both of them maintained throughout the public hearing yesterday for more than 2 hours that there was no classified information shared on that texting thread. Now today, with this information that we're getting from The Atlantic, it appears that they may not have been truthful when they testified to that. We're seeing today in these text messages from The Atlantic, and Scripps News is deciding to report on this because this is post-operational. This has, of course, already happened. These strikes occurred more than a week ago in Yemen. There are many details in this texting chain that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, sent to 18 or 17 other people, including exact times of when different kinds of military planes would be launching, what time those aircrafts and drones would be striking and dropping bombs. And this is in contradiction to what we heard yesterday from these top Trump cabinet officials who said that there were not details, specific details in these texting chains about what was going on in Yemen as the United States was striking against the Houthis. Now, yesterday we heard Democrats really honing in on this. Republicans, not as much. They focused on the broader theme of worldwide threats, asking questions about cartels, the Ukraine-Russia conflict. I think the real question today in this House hearing before the Intelligence Committee is whether Republicans will ask about this. And now with more of these details revealed today, Andrew, I do think that it is likely that we will hear from Republicans asking why this kind of information was shared over a texting thread and why a reporter was included on it. Andrew.
Hey, Liz, it was pretty striking yesterday when you saw John Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, sitting next to each other, essentially giving different sort of answers to whether or not they were even on that text chain. Do you expect sort of the narrative to change at all between yesterday and today about how these top administration officials are handling these questions?
Well, one of the things we heard yesterday, Andrew, from Democrats as they left that hearing and also as they left the classified portion of that worldwide threats hearing is that Democrats thought that over the course of the day, the administration's story changed on whether there was classified information. And we saw a really interesting moment between the top Republican on that committee, Senator Tom Cotton, and the top Democrat, Senator Mark Warner, going back and forth about the classified nature of what was on the texting thread, basically trying to parse words between what the DNI said and what the CIA director said about classified information that was intelligence classified information versus potentially military classified information, because what the Secretary of Defense appears to share here could be considered military classified information, depending on how you look at this. So they were trying to make that distinction in the hearing yesterday, and Democrats that I spoke to after the hearing said that they weren't buying it, that they thought that the administration was not getting their story straight during the hearing and that it evolved throughout the day. So we'll see today. Maybe Ratcliffe and Gabbard's teams have spoken before they're going into this hearing yet again. My assumption is that they will both be the witnesses that will be asked the most questions again. They certainly were yesterday in that hearing. So we'll see how the administration responds and coordinates their response today. Andrew.
Yeah, Scripps News national security correspondent Liz Landers. That hearing is set to begin in just a short time, and we will bring you portions of it live. Liz will be checking back with you later today. Thank you for that.